So I'm going to say a few words, and I'm trying to keep it short, but I wanted to say a few things about my son. We're glad and privileged to be able to host y'all tonight. And I wanted to acknowledge the Cardenases and just thank them for putting together this incredible wedding event tonight and tomorrow. Great job. So before I start, I got to tell you, I get emotional talking about my kids especially. So even though Dr. Google discourages you from using jokes in these type of talks, on the next page, when you say, well, what do I do if I get emotional? It says, well, use humor. So they give me some contradictory information. So I'm going to use a little bit of humor here and try to get past the humps. If y'all will bear with me on that. Y'all ever get choked up when you talk about your family? So I do that. And just to make sure we have some humor available, I've brought with me something we can refer to. So if I get choked up, I'm just going to pull up this list of medical terminology for Aggies. Okay? And so just to kind of give you a little taste, how many Aggies we got here? We got one or two. Okay. So, and we have an Aggie doctor and his wife over here, so they can help us out with some fact checks, right? Two doctors. So here's the first one, barium. Barium. That is what you do when CPR fails. So that's what we will use if I need some help and get choked up. I have the privilege of telling you a little bit about my son Connor, some stuff that y'all probably don't know. Some call this part of the show giving context to this, and I call it bragging. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to brag about Connor here for you. And Connor, listen, as I tell these stories, don't fact check me on this stuff, okay? You didn't get a license, okay? First is he's got very diverse talents and interests. When he was younger in mid school, he was interested in drama. He played, I don't know if y'all know that or not. He had many roles. He played the bad guy in Oliver, and that night I kind of was convinced that he was really good at his craft, because at the end of Oliver, was it Oliver? Did I get it? Yes. At the end of Oliver, his character gets shot and killed. And he was such a good actor that his little sister, Linson, who was about 6, just started screaming and yelling and crying, thinking that her brother had just been killed on stage. So I knew he had a real future in acting because he was so convincing. He also played baseball. You saw some of the pictures up there. He was one of those rare, coveted left-handed pitchers, and he had a wicked fastball. He was really good. And I'm sure some of you dads can relate to that. We spent a lot of very, very hot days out in the summer watching baseball. And we enjoyed it. I loved it. I missed it. He also played football. So when he was about 12, one of the dads decided to start a Pee Wee football team. So we had our first practice, and a bunch of 12-year-olds running around, and the coach handed out a list of all the plays and told them to take them home and learn the plays. So Connor took it home and learned the plays that night. And the next time we showed up for practice, the first thing the coach says, well, how many of y'all know the plays? How many of y'all studied the plays? Well, one hand shot up, and it was Connor. So you men probably know what happened next, right? He became the quarterback by default. And he quarterbacked up until, I think, junior high school. And it was a tough time because the offensive line was not very good. It took a beating. Second, I want to talk about his determination and courage. This is a tough one. In his junior year in high school, he tore his ACL in a football game, middle of the season. He had surgery, rehabbed, and then came back for his senior year as the team captain. And in the first week of practice, he tore the other ACL. So where's that Aggie list? Okay, so here's another one. Dilate. You got a guess on that, Justin? It's dilate. Dilate means to live longer. Okay. I didn't say these were funny. I just said I was going to share them. So he came back for senior year as captain. He tore his other ACL. Rather than miss a season, he chose just to not do the surgery, and he played on it through that season. Very, very good season. Connor he's always had very committed friends. He has an impressive group of friends. Most of them are here tonight. A lot of you are sitting here. And we've learned over time that Taylor has an equally impressive group of committed and loyal friends. And so it's great to have everybody here together tonight. And I wanted to comment on the friendships that y'all have. I mean, it's kind of an unusual group, I think, because a lot of y'all have known each other for, since kindergarten. Very loyal. Y'all have shared values. You have shared faith. You have shared commitment to each other. Y'all learn how to love and serve each other, and you're always there for each other. And that's impressive. You don't see that a lot in our world. In the age of digital socialization, what each of you have in this room is very rare in our culture, I think, and I commend you for it. So, Connor, Taylor, we hope and pray for both of you. My challenge is to cherish those friendships and relationships, prioritize those relationships and friendships, protect them, and always be looking for ways to love and serve and encourage each other. In the book of Proverbs, it says there's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. So think about that. I know the men in this room would die defending their sister or brother, so being that kind of a friend is a pretty high standard. So I want to challenge you, as the friends and friends with each other, to set a high bar for yourself in the friendship department. Make time for it, focus on it, be committed to it. I know Connor, there's several people in here, some of these guys he went to kindergarten with, and they've remained great friends. Finally, I'd like to make a few toasts. So y'all, please join me. First one is to David, Mary Grace. We want to thank you for this incredible, unforgettable wedding weekend. So if y'all would, lift your glasses, toast to David and Mary Grace. And we want to thank you for the love and support that you have shown for our son. And we've enjoyed getting to know you and your family. To my bride. She was actually the first person in here to meet Connor. In a very meaningful way. So, to you, Jamie, you're an incredible all-star mother. You're a role model. When I brag on our children, I know that their attributes are due in large part to your influence in their lives. So, to the love of my life, salute. All right. Almost need another egg. Yeah, let's do one more of those. All right. Here's a good one. Outpatient. Guesses? That's a person who is fainting. Protein. That's in favor. Someone who's in favor of young people. Okay. All right. So this is a toast to Connor and Taylor. Y'all lift your glasses. You two are greatly, greatly loved. And we all are excited for you as you start this new, very rich and exciting chapter in your lives. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make His face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn His face toward you and give you peace. Cheers. All right, I've only got about 40 minutes pages of material here. In closing, I just want to say finally, and y'all keep this in mind, I think it's safe to say that for me, for Jamie, for Mary Grace, David, Justin, and Caitlin, Zach, Jesse, and Linson, we got your back. We're done. All right.
Hi everyone. My name is Linda Pullen, and I am Taylor's matron of honor. I am beyond blessed to call Taylor my soul sister, partner in crime, study abroad buddy, and best friend. First, I just want to start off by thanking Mr. and Mrs. Cardenas and Mr. and Mrs. Ford for not just hosting amazing weekend of events, but also raising the most incredible children. So, hats out to y'all. So, I know this is a common time for people to share stories as part of their speech. However, both of our parents are here, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that part. So, Taylor and I go all the way back to freshman year of college, when, more often than not, Taylor could be found bunking with me in my freshman room dorm. From there, we've gone from taking all of our classes together, backpacking Europe, post-grad, and beyond. Throughout those past 10 years, Taylor and I have had some pretty special memories, but her engagement is definitely one of my favorites, because I have been praying about this for a long time. Okay, as Taylor and I began to shift our minds from college courses to careers, I often found myself wondering how in the world we would ever find someone good enough for Taylor. No question, she needed a man who loved Jesus and had a strong moral compass. But she also needed a guy with a little bit of flair and someone who would make her laugh. So, when Connor got together, I was shocked at how obvious this match was. And yes, I take 90% of the credit for them getting together. Justin, maybe he's not here, but Justin gets the other 10% for moving to Houston and graduating med school. But that was the easy part. So, many of you may not know this, but Connor literally lived next door to us in college. We knew him as the guy who sold our parking spots for active candidate. He gave us like 50%, I think. And who occasionally drove us to our weightlifting class. Yes, Taylor and I did take weightlifting, but that is a story for another day. Sure, Connor was a total hot commodity. I literally don't think there was a single day party in college that he didn't get invited to. But let's face it, at the time, Connor was just a tad immature. And he just wasn't quite ready for someone like Taylor. Connor, you truly are a perfect match for Taylor. You are the rock that Taylor needs. You're the softie that she loves. And you're the comedian that keeps Taylor laughing. I could not have created a more perfect guy for Taylor. And I'm just sorry that y'all didn't get together sooner. It truly is the biggest blessing to see you love Taylor the way she needs and the way she deserves. Taylor, you are humble, selfless, hardworking, silly, and beautiful inside and out. You are also the most loyal and devoted friend. You've been by my side through thick and thin, sending me tips, treats, and holding my hand when things get tough, and cheering me on through my successes. You add a whole lot of love and a little bit of sparkle to everything that you do, and for that I will always be thankful. For any of you who know Taylor, you know that there's no getting between her and what she sets her mind to do. Whether it's running 10 miles, just because, being Gracie's mom, crushing her MBA classes and getting an awesome new job, to designing and sewing her own curtains. There's literally nothing this girl cannot do. But more importantly, there's nothing stopping her when she's committed to something. Taylor, I know that you are fully and wholly in love with Connor, and there is not a doubt in my mind you are going to be the most incredible wife. I am so honored that Rob and I get to be part of your story, and I promise to always try and help Connor pick out anniversary gifts that you'll like. The last thing I want to leave you with is a piece of marriage advice that Rob and I strive to live by. When faced with adversity, never forget that it's you two against the problem, not you two against each other. There's no doubt in my mind that when the two of you band together, there's nothing you can't tackle. So cheers to you.
So I think it's only fair to start off by saying that if you know Connor and rehearsal dinners, he is the guy who speaks at every single one of them that he has ever been to. So if you were on the fence about saying something tonight, this is your chance to pay it back to Connor. So we all know Taylor really appreciates the finer things in life.
That's true. I don't know what I'm
It is factually true.
It is objectively true.
So I think it's only fitting we evaluate whether she has found a finer thing in Connor. And for everyone worried, she has. Preview. So Connor and I ran around the same crew in college, but we didn't really become close until he was finishing his 6th or 7th or 8th year in college and was sleeping on our couch. But fret not, it was while he was recruiting for work and has since landed an awesome job. Recently got a promotion to 3rd year associate, which is a big deal, despite willing to acknowledge that. Connor has basically taught me every hobby I have that doesn't involve the ocean, and I have some of my best memories doing these things. He has shaped a lot of who I am today. First came cooking. Connor, the Sunday night cooking festivities in Houston, they were the best. Everybody, probably half the crew here has heard extensively about it in my rehearsal dinner. Then came the horror movies. Taylor, don't know how you're going to get out of this one. The first 3 times you cried during the previews, I thought Connor would stop forcing this upon you, but here we are. Then came the pool. Connor is a total psychopath about getting his perfect pool spot every single time we go to the pool. At which we stream the golf channel for 6 to 8 hours straight. And lastly, insists upon not wearing any sunscreen so he gets a good base burn for the next 6 months, but it's a perpetual 6 months, so I don't know. Lastly, most importantly, golf. So when Connor moved to Dallas, he informed me I would be liking golf, and no matter how much I resisted, he dragged me out to the beautiful Dallas public courses every Saturday at 8 a.m., despite my insistent requests for a later tea time. These 4 things, golf, cooking, pool, horror movies, basically comprise all I do in my free time now. Seriously, for better or worse, and I attribute each of them to Connor. Connor, first of all, thank you for putting up with me being so unbelievably late to everything. I know you have wasted years of your life waiting for my late ass. Thank you for dragging me into your hobbies, which have all subsequently turned into my own. Thank you for teaching me how to putt. You are great at putting.
Okay. All right.
It's not good at putting. It's hard exactly to describe how much you've shaped me and my current self, but know that you hold an extremely special place in my heart. Okay, I'm serious. Taylor, we all know you go for the finer things once again, and I can completely attest you have found one with Connor. Connor is the most practical human I've ever met. When he lived in Houston and y'all started dating, y'all established a fair and practical routine of him driving to Austin 90% of the weekends. And you coming to Houston the other 10%. So when I saw him agree to this regime, I knew Connor was all in to this relationship. I've never seen him love anyone this much, and it's only grown since these road trips started. He loves you so much and will take amazing care of you. Connor and Taylor. AK and I have had the absolute best time of our lives living at 3700. With y'all, I will always cherish the impromptu thriller nights or us missing very basic necessities and asking either of y'all for them because you always have them because y'all are much more on top of things than us. We love that. We actually, half of our wall in the entrance has been torn off right now because we were missing a power drill. Actually, probably gonna have to get that. So AK and I got married earlier this year. Y'all know that. And we were just absolutely mind blown how amazing the wedding day is. I think both of us were like, we're scared of the attention. I don't know what to do, but it is the most amazing day. We're so excited for y'all. So we did this thing where you kind of at the reception, you go take a step back, just hide in a corner, get away from people. Then just observe the reception, just look around and see everyone, just don't talk to anyone, just kind of stand there in a corner so nobody sees you, nobody bothers you. Just observe everyone there and appreciate all the love they have for you. I ask you to promise us that you'll take a couple minutes and do that tomorrow. We love you guys a ton and are so excited to celebrate y'all tomorrow. Cheers to the Fords!
Okay, so aside from Meg, I've probably been friends with you probably the longest, just known you the most. We've been friends for 17 years now. I met Taylor when I was 10. We were both 10. And it was funny, we were at her bridal luncheon today, and we were all thinking of words, and my word for Taylor was true. And she's just true friend, true beauty. Every sense of the word, just when you think of true, everything that's good and true, it's Taylor. And so I was thinking back today, after we left, of everybody's words stylish and true and loyal, all the things. And I started thinking about the first time I'd ever met Taylor. And we were 10, and we were at First Baptist Academy, and Taylor was ponytail, braces, glasses, slicked back pony, tight as it could go, I think. And every single boy had a crush on her. She was the new girl from New Mexico. And I had, I had been there, my whole life. And so Taylor was the new girl, and I think we were first friends. I was probably your first friend, you were my new friend. But Taylor is just such a beauty. She still had braces, glasses, and everything, and I had no braces, no glasses. I thought I was the cool, what. And I'm I need braces, I need glasses now. I need everything because this girl has it. And we just instantly hit it off. And I think it's so fun looking back over the last 17 years. We truly had just so many fun, just awkward stages together. So Taylor is Taylor Rose and I'm Victoria Lace. So we went through a stage where we were literally going to start a rock and roll band and be Rose and Lace. Maybe it'll happen one day, who knows. But we just have had so many memories, and I was telling Tim and Haley this story. So I feel the tipping point of my relationship with Taylor if we already weren't like I knew this girl was gonna be like friends for life with me. We used to go roll or like toilet paper people's houses like all the time. If you were a victim, I'm very sorry. But we literally used to go all the time, and so we had all this toilet paper. We would go like toilet paper our crushes in high school, everybody's house. And literally, we were out one time, it was just us two, and she's like, I have to pee so bad. And I'm like, what? I'm like, just wait, we're like almost home. She's like, we have to stop right now. She literally stopped, gets out of the car on the side of the road, and goes to the bathroom. And I'm like, this girl is my chick for life. Like, I could do anything with this girl, literally. So we have so many stories like that, and I know over the last couple of years, I haven't really gotten to spend a whole lot of time with you, Connor. I know that we've like done a little double date as to, yes, COVID. But it's so funny, my dad always says growing up, like whenever you meet somebody, and I'm gonna get emotional now, where's my napkin? But when you know somebody who's just so incredible, thank you, Mary Grace. But when you meet somebody that's so incredible, and I've known Taylor for so long, that like I didn't even have to meet Connor to know he was amazing. And so when I met you for the first time, it all made sense, and like Taylor has always been like my princess. We're like totally similar, but like opposites attract. Like I'm like the most chaotic, disorganized person ever, and like Taylor used to come over to my house and fold my laundry. I'm like my dirty clothes. I'm not kidding. I'm like, Taylor, it's dirty. Stop. We were like 14, like, you know. But when I met you, it all made sense. Like, you're just so awesome and you're so incredible, and I just am so excited for y'all's future together. And I tell that story about Taylor being on the side of the road because your marriage will always be fun with Taylor. It will always be fun. And that's the best quality to have, like, in a wife. Like, you will never have a dull moment. You will always have fun. I'm totally rambling. I didn't plan any of this. But just in general, Taylor is, like, the truest sense of family to me. The Cardenas family is family to me. And your family now, so welcome. But I just love you guys. Cheers to the Fords. Like you said, may the Lord bless you, keep you, may His face shine upon you. We're just so excited for you. Love you.
My name is Trevor. I have known Connor since high school, but probably didn't get close until we lived together in college. But yeah, I think there's so many qualities about Connor that I could talk about tonight. Honestly, a lot similar to Mark's speech, but I'm going to try to keep it short for the sake of time. Connor's probably, I'm surprised the speeches so far haven't all highlighted this. Connor, I think, is the most hardest working individual I've known in my life. I've always had a ton of respect for him for how he handles situations, seasons, whatever he's working on, he gives it his all. Whether it's, having a job in high school, throughout high school. Side note, I think, where is Connor? You and I are the only people in this room who truly have just absolute appreciation for seafood fine dining.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So having a job in high school, working your tail off to get an A&M, I think you have 4.0 in the blend prior to that. That's not a joke. Connor works his tail off and everything. You worked your tail off so much in business school that Tripp got pissed at you and kicked you out because you were too successful and accepted a job too early. And now, obviously, post-college, you've worked your butt off and gotten to where you are today, and that speaks volumes to your character. I respect that a ton, and I don't think I've ever heard you complain about anything. And all that said, I think if I were to stop there, that would kind of make Connor sound like a stick in the mud, but he is not a stick in the mud. Connor's also just the most down for anything, willing to, drop anything at the drop of a hat and hang out with his friends. And, you know, with that, you're an amazing host, you're an amazing chef. Like Mark said, you're an amazing patron of the pool and the beach. You tan really well, you fit right into the Cardenas family line. Golden skin. Anyways, to wrap things up, I've always been impressed and jealous of just your drive to be the best at whatever it is you're doing, whether that's in a professional sense or mastering a dish that you're cooking, or going from a 15 handicap to becoming the best golfer in our friend group. Blake and Blake both are not laughing at that. But I think that speaks volumes to the type of husband you're going to be, the type of dad that you're going to be someday to your 8 children. Taylor, I don't know how you have put up with all of us as Connor's friends. We're a bizarre friend group, but you have fit right in, and we love you for it. And we're super happy for y'all. All of these qualities, Mr. and Mrs. Ford, obviously are a testament to how you raised him and just the parents that y'all are. And you got an incredible son, and we're super thankful for that. So cheers to this wedding. We're super excited for tomorrow, and super excited for y'all's marriage.
I first want to say thank you to the Forts and the Cardenas for such an incredible weekend. It's just started, so we're ready for tomorrow. For those that don't know me, I met Taylor back in 2008. She was my first friend going into Highland Park. We were both new and trying out for cheerleading, and so cheerleading, we 2 years together, and cheerleading is kind of where it started. We, we soon figured out after cheerleading how much we had in common with family and faith, and I knew meeting her was the best decision, and I was happy for everyone else who knew Taylor in cheerleading, because that was honestly the only way I got through. I think going into a new school and not knowing anybody and Taylor the same way, it kind of helped me succeed and cheer and moving forward. From concerts, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, Enrique, twice. Multiple trips with family and friends to Cabo, Vegas, New York, Europe, to name a few, Bahamas. And then living together in LA. I think we grew more living together for the 2 months between going out on the weekends and ending up at Rihanna's old house on 4th of July. I think that was when we top it off. Just to name a few of our favorite and my favorite moments. I couldn't have gone through life without you. You are my go-to makeup person, hair person, fashionista, best friend, and sister. You're truly caring, loyal, trustworthy, loving, and my go-to person. Thanks for being there for me through it all, and I can't wait to stand by your side tomorrow. Connor, thank you for keeping Taylor happy and taking care of her. I couldn't have asked for a better person for her. So cheers to the future Miss Sports.
My heart is racing out of my chest right now, so bear with me. I just want to say, for starters, how honored I am that I get to stand with all of mine. Let's start with you, Connor. When I first met Connor in college, I haven't known him as long as most of the guys in this room, but I really didn't like Connor at first. There was no good reason, but he didn't make a bad first impression. I just don't like him. And I couldn't have been more wrong. It didn't take a long think out of all of my friends in this room, most of which are my closest friends in life, I feel like we have just not only a lot in common, but anytime I'm like considering like any sort of decision or thinking about any topic, it could be political, it could be about sports, I feel like we're very much on the same page about things. You're one of the most even-keeled guys that I know. I've always appreciated that about you. I think it'll serve you well in marriage. But I love what your dad said about cherishing your friendships, and I think that I know that I have some of the best friends in this world. I don't know, I'm getting emotional. I only had sisters growing up, and so all of my guy friends, my close guy friends, I consider brothers. I consider Connor one of my brothers. And as Catherine, my wife, and I are expecting our first child, what we've talked about a lot is my biggest hope for our daughter is that she has friends like you and Taylor. I love you, man. No gay. I love you. And I knew without a doubt that I wanted you to stand next to me and Catherine at our own wedding. I know we'll be friends for life, and as we get older and as my personal friend circle gets smaller and smaller, I know that you will always be part of that. And Taylor. So you've just been a huge blessing in my life and Catherine's life, and I'm so grateful to know you. I can't wait to celebrate you and Taylor this weekend, especially tomorrow. I'm just very thankful to have met you in college, and even though I didn't want to get first, I think we've come a long way. So yeah, honored to be here. Taylor, it's been a joy and a pleasure getting to know you more recently, but I remember telling Catherine that you and Connor were starting to date, and she had nothing but high praise for just who you were, your work ethic. When they lived together at the Kyle house, she said she was the first one up every morning, had to run, had showered, put on her makeup, and studied before 8 a.m. So talk about a power couple, that's Taylor and Connor. But yeah, we're just so thankful to know y'all and to celebrate y'all, and we love you.
So hello everybody, I'm Taylor Cardenas' mother, Mary Grace. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Thank you, Jamie and Steve, for hosting us. We're so happy to be here. Taylor, I love you so much. It's been an honor and privilege to be your mom, to watch you grow into the lovely lady you've become. And you really are a lovely lady. Some stories we're going to hit upon very quickly. Taylor has, I think Katie said earlier that her word for her was joy. And when you said that, I thought, wow, that's it. Because when she was a little toddler, and still, she's so joyful and happy all the time. And David and I all often said we should have called her Joy, because she brought such joy into our life. Then and now, she still does. So I think it was Michelle that said that Taylor's kind of, well, many people say she's a fashionista. And she is. She's always had a flair for fashion. When she was 3 years old, we, honest to God, put a lock on her closet because she had multiple outfit changes daily. She did. And so I couldn't keep up with rehanging her outfit changes, so I put a lock on her closet. She also, as Michelle alluded to earlier, that Taylor would, well, as she mentioned, her daughter Megan. Megan and Taylor were best friends forever. And Taylor was in her house one day, and Megan came out with her little one-leg shave. Taylor had shaved her leg. Often she would, have her friends over and she'd pluck her eyebrows. And her mom would call and say, "Oh, Taylor, plucked her eyebrows today." So she has always had an eye for what looks good and what doesn't, what should be there and what should not. What should not. And so, very, very sweet, and that would describe Taylor completely. Organized, somebody said earlier, she's completely organized. One thing that nobody mentioned was her unique desire to ask random questions, multiple random questions. So growing up, she would always and often say, is there at least one person who, blah, 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 maybe, is there at least one person who looked at the sky for 10 days and didn't eat? Is there one person who climbed a mountain right there and is still there? I mean, she always asked random questions, and she reminded me a few weeks ago that I put a limit. I said, "Taylor, you can only ask so many questions a day because, I can't do that." So, but now that you're marrying Connor, I encourage you to ask as many ask thought-provoking questions. Keep your knowledge growing because now he can take care of all of your answers. We had the opportunity when Taylor was 10 years old to move to Dallas. We did. And when we told Taylor we were about to move, she was devastated. And she cried and she said, Mom, please tell me that you'll vote with me to stay because I don't want to go to Dallas. And, it was because her sweet best friend Megan, now I'm getting emotional. She didn't want to leave her. So we waited like another year. David moved out early, and I stayed back with the kids to let them make that adjustment. And so we ended up moving here, and Taylor, nobody knows this except for us four, Megan 5, and the Schwartzes, and my sister. There are a few of us more. So anyways, when we moved here, Taylor was a all-star Little League softball player. And more precise, she was a catcher. And so when we moved here, the first thing she put on her wall, because she's very goal-oriented, was how to be a better softball player. Number 1, squat low. In parentheses, don't think about your thighs burning. Number 2, position the mitt at the striker zone. And number 3, throw the ball fast to second base and get the runner out. So she was very determined, and that's what she did. So we tried to find a competitive softball league, and we found one literally 30 miles away in Grand Prairie. And so I asked the coach, why is it so far? And he said, ma'am, people in your area, little girls in your area, they don't play softball. They like to cheer. So Taylor exchanged her her softball mitt and bat for pom-poms. So she decided to be a cheerleader. So she went to First Baptist Academy for 3 years and met Sweet Victoria. And then after that, she decided she wanted to go to Highland Park for high school and cheer. So she was new and switching in just like Haley was. And so they had to try out during their 8th grade year at a new school, not knowing really anybody. And when I saw Taylor out there in front of the student body at Highland Park, trying out, I realized how brave and courageous she was. And she did, and like I said, Haley did too. That's how they met. They become fast friends. And then she also ran cross country in high school and became friends with Kay. And then after that, went to Texas A&M and met Linda and Kay and Kelly and her sorority, and won Honor Fort. And so they met, and it wasn't until about 6 years later that they actually started dating. And a sweet story about Connor is that one of the first memories I have of you, well, kind of like Alex, I hated you, okay. I'm just being silly. I really thought he was adorable. And so we were in Austin, because Taylor lived there, and we were driving, and somebody was driving. And Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance With Somebody came on the radio, and Connor said, oh, turn it up, I love this song. And he said, this will be played at my wedding. And I thought, wow, he did. Do you remember that? You did. And so I thought, oh my God, perhaps could this be my Taylor? You know, they'd been dating like weeks at that time. And so I thought that was, really sweet and endearing. But, I can assure you tomorrow night that will be played at your wedding. And so I want to let you know that I've been praying for you, for future husband, for many, many years. That you would love God, number one. That you would be a strong leader, provider. You would encourage and her goals and dreams. You would support and encourage her goals and dreams. And that you would love her well. And as Gracie came along, you would love her little doggy too. And so thank you, you do. Taylor, I'm so happy for you. Connor, I'm so happy for you. You complement each other very well, and in more ways than one, many ways. So we're excited, and I'm happy to have the Fords join our family. We love them so much, all of y'all. And I just encourage you all to, to continue to put Jesus first. Fervently pursue Him and lift Him high. So thank you all, and let's raise our glass to the future Fords.
I'm so excited to be here tonight celebrating you guys. And thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Fort, for tonight, and Mr. and Mrs. Cardenas for tomorrow. Earlier today, I had the chance to say how you've been such a joyful presence in my life, but I'm glad to get to expand on that a little bit more tonight. I loved hearing everyone who spoke this morning say how genuine, loyal, and faithful you are, Taylor. You've been such a light in my life, and each time I think back on our memories together, I just smile and laugh. Like the time neither of us got the full sports passes for A&M's our sophomore year, so we got all dressed up and would go to the tailgates and then watch the game at La Bodega or Jimmy's. On one of those occasions, we got called out by the Alabama fans for being the 2%ers that they had just heard about on the news last night. Because we didn't have tickets to the game. We had met them in the MSC, and they asked us why we were so dressed up for a football game. And then they proceeded to call us 2%ers. So it's completely unfair. But another fond memory I have was studying with you and Preston really late in the Callaway study room, where both of you were doing not a lot of studying, but just Grinch impersonations. Even though at the time it drove me absolutely nuts, I'm forever indebted to you because you introduced me to Preston. But you've always brought a smile to my face or made me laugh in a time I really needed it. You've been there for me in difficult times and good times, and you're someone I can cry with, have deep conversations with, and laugh hysterically with. You're steadfast in your beliefs, and it shows. I'm so lucky to have met you in the bathroom at the KA house and bonded so fast. I'm so glad I get to call you my best friend. Connor, I've loved getting to know you more and more since we graduated college, especially on our 5th roomie reunion when we let the guys come last summer. Our freshman year of college, Taylor drove us to Gulf Shores for spring break, and on that trip we ended up getting pulled over. I'm 99% sure that we were listening to the Spice Girls Wannabe as we were getting pulled over. But in those lyrics, I don't think it was by chance, because in the lyrics it says, if you want to be my lover, you gotta get with my friends. And reflecting on that time when writing this speech, I think it was, it hits home how, Connor, you made such an effort to get to know all of Taylor's friends. You both hit the jackpot, and I can't wait to see what God has in store for y'all. So cheers to Taylor and Connor.
I'm Blake. Great to see everyone. This will be under 3 minutes. When we were looking for Connor's golf ball out of bounds, I remember that's when he asked if he would, let me come tonight. And I said, sure, yeah, but are you playing Catalyst 3? No? No, that's not yours either. But thinking about tonight, the first thing that came to mind was the forming of these two families. I've had a great time, a brief time getting to know both of y'all. that's a really cool formation. You know, both awesome families, and it's a cool reflection into Taylor and Connor. So that's awesome. Connor. Connor is the man. The word excellence, like Trevor said, is the word that goes with Connor. He is good at everything that he does. And if he's bad at it, he just says it's stupid. He took up cooking, he killed it. He took up golf, killed it. Everything that you've been good at, you've let us know about. Everything else, that's just about it. I have not gotten to know Connor as long as a lot of these people. I met Connor in college at A&M, and I think we got pretty close. I considered you like in my inside circle whenever you were in Australia, and we were FaceTiming all the time. And you would FaceTime, and I'd be talking, and you would just pull up a artifact in the FaceTime, or a gun in the FaceTime. What are you doing over there? And you came back, thankfully, right? And we really hit it off from there. And it's been awesome to get to know you better for the last 4 years. I'm jealous that half of these people got to know you since 2009, 2010, to 2011, but you really are the best of us. You include people, you put things together. The pool is true. The golf, hey, come over, let me cook for you, all those things just is a reflection about how big your heart is. And it's awesome that I can be a beneficiary of who you are. And I still think that you are getting the better deal in this marriage. Taylor, every single time that we talk about Connor on a one-on-one basis, and the way that you understand the way that his mind works, the way that his heart ticks, I walk away thinking you are perfect for him. And he chose a great one. You were like a celebrity in college. I heard about you before I knew you were. And I was like, Connor in this red Explorer that plays Jamaican music, and the windows don't work, is the one that gets taken. That says everything you need to know about her. But I couldn't be more excited for both of y'all. Y'all are a great fit. Cheers to the force.
First of all, I'm not great at speeches, but we're going to see how this goes. Steve, I need to scoot over. Okay, yeah, perfect. Steve Ford here has already disrupted my planned speech. I would first like to apologize to Linton because I, in fact, killed Connor in that play in 8th grade. And I've never officially apologized. I'm very sorry. So I've known Connor for a very long time, and like many people have said, I was not quite the biggest fan of Connor. So Connor and I went to school together our whole lives, and in middle school, Connor and I were kind of rivals on the basketball court at recess, and I loved shooting half-court shots, and to be completely honest, I made a good amount of them, but Connor always yelled at me. He would just scream at me for shooting a half-court shot, and we quickly became enemies on the middle school recess basketball court, but we rapidly became close friends gradually throughout the years. As we continued to becoming friends, Connor's just kind of been by my side through thick and thin. Connor was with me when my dad was the most disappointed in me in life. No, it's not that bad of a story. It's another getting pulled over story. Senior year of high school, Connor and I were headed to Fiji Islander, like big high school guys, and my dad said, "Don't speed on the way to College Station." I said, "All right, no problem." So me and Connor were driving, and got pulled over going way too fast.
90 to 65.
90 to 60. And Connor helped me talk my way out of that one. He helped me talk my way out of many things over the years, but terrible stories aside, Connor has been a great friend. I think 3 things that really come to mind. 1, Connor is just a loyal friend. If there's anyone you want in your corner, no matter what's going on, you want Connor there. He is the most loyal. He will fight for you no matter what. He is just with you no matter the circumstances. 2, as many people have said, he is a creature of habit. He is very unique. And he loves bringing people into the things that he likes to do, whether it be movies, golf, cooking. He loves what he does, and he really likes bringing people in, and it's not what he loves to do. He doesn't really want to go. But it's who he is, and he sticks to it. And the last is that, and Trevor touched on it, he is the most disciplined, hardworking guy you could ever imagine. I think all of us that lived with him in college and over the years, he has just been the example of what it looks like to work hard and be disciplined. Whether it was moving from Blinn to Mays, or from getting kicked out of Trip, or eating healthy when all of us refused to eat healthy over the years, you were just like the example of what it looked like to be disciplined. Taylor, I could give a very long speech for you as well, but I will refrain because I'm going to go over Zach's 3-minute timer. But you've been such a good friend to both me and Katie over the past, I don't know how many years. You continue to just be caring and thoughtful for both Katie and I, and we are so thankful to have both you and Connor in our lives, and are excited for the many adventures ahead. Lastly, it's been it's been a tradition over the past few weddings of my friends to read a speech, and read a poem. And this poem is brought to you by none other than our friend Blake Dorn, who last gave a speech at my wedding and has never since given another speech. So here you go. A long time ago, in a land far, far away, there once lived a teeny tiny squirrel named Jose. The squirrel spent its time jumping from limb to limb, never missing an opportunity to bring another nut back to its den. After many years of scavenging from yard to yard, it found itself a new home, settling into the tree of Connor's house in College Station with no disregard. Connor, being the friendly guy that he is, quickly adopted Jose as his new pet, along with all of his pet pigs. Jose noticed that Connor was too afraid to talk to the girl of his dreams. After many heart-to-hearts between Connor and Jose started deploying his schemes. The plan was for Jose to attack Connor during his daily half-mile run. Right in front of Taylor's house, hoping she would come rescue him from the startling squirrel stun. Listen, I apologize. This is so bad. I apologize on behalf of Blake. You all know how this story ends. Taylor saved Connor, and they immediately fell in love. Jose will be in attendance tomorrow, watching the ceremony in a tree from above. Cheers to Taylor.
Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Justin. I'm Taylor's brother. This is exciting. Taylor and I mean, we grew up in New Mexico together, and I think Connor on his bachelor party asked me, why are Taylor and I so close? Well, when you grow up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, there's not a whole lot to do there, except just hang out in the summers by the pool and play sports together. Getting to know Connor has been a blast. his bachelor party, we all showed up in fruit suits on the golf course. I was like, this is the man who's gonna marry my sister. It's awesome because they fit each other so well. Taylor color coordinates everything with her bridesmaids and with her friends all throughout. Connor and I got to first kind of really know each other on a golfing trip before the bachelor party about 3 years ago in Houston, or 2 years ago, and just got to know each other's stories. And I tried to not like him when I first walked into it, because I'm a pretty protective big brother. There have been boyfriends in the past that I've called on the phone and had pushed away actively. So I kind of walked in with a big chest and kind of like, okay, Connor, who are you? And he broke me down immediately just by the man he was. And we connected, and I realized, man, this guy he's special. There's something about him that you can't really put into words, and I was attracted to that as Taylor's sister, just realizing this could be a brother through life. And ever since that golf trip that we had in Houston, I realized, y'all are have the potential to be married, and here you are today. So some stories about Taylor kind of growing up. I think everyone's reflections here kind of shown that. I think Megan will bring some home later on. But Taylor and I, when we we're 3 years apart, we went to school together all the way till we came to Dallas, and we played baseball and softball together. So our summers were filled with I was at one field, she was at the other field, and we meet up in between, hang out and go play more sports by the pool at our house and watching Disney marathon movies. And Taylor has the best memory of movies you can ever imagine. We would watch a movie and she'd quote the movie the chorus of the day. And it was the most fun because we would relive that moment over and over and over again as she's sitting there giving these Disney quotes. She also has an amazing voice in the shower. We'd be downstairs, and she does. Lizzie McGuire was jamming upstairs, and I can just picture us all being downstairs she is just crushing it up there with this voice, and she could care less. She's having the best time of her life. Taylor was the life force of our family. Just kind of made us all have that extra pep to our step. We were watching a home video a couple years ago about the vacation in Hawaii, and Taylor was there with her high voice, just chattering away, just on and on and on. Goodness, she talked so much. It was so sweet and cute, and I think I loved it. And I was looking at photos before today. My mom had up at her house of us when we were kids, and we were just we were buddies, and we went hiking trips together. There was one 10-mile hike we did in New Mexico. And once we got done with that hike, basically started on top of this massive mountain in Albuquerque and hiked our way down. And she was 7 years old. You're pretty young to do this big hike. And was champ the whole way. And once we got down, we decided to play this imaginary game we were in the middle of the African safari, deserts, and there were elephants everywhere. And we were oh, this is so fun. Let's camp in our backyard. So that night, we camped in our backyard. I had this awesome camp out and pretended we were on the Serengeti. And our parents were kind of watching us closely inside, but we were out there by ourselves. And that was our childhood. Our childhood was filled up with memories, just getting to hang out. So Connor, you're gonna have a lot of fun with her in marriage. She is a blast to be with. My childhood and who I am today is a reflection of just getting to spend so much close time with Taylor. Taylor, you're amazing. I'm very, very proud of you. You are an amazing woman. You've grown up so much, and it's exciting to see just where your life's going to go and where your life's brought you today. You have all the tools, all the support in the world to do whatever you want with your life. Whether it's 6 kids or you get your first and realize I just want 3, or 2 or 1. For whatever it is, we're here for you. And I love you so much. And I'm excited that Connor is the man who gets to marry you. And Connor, we're brothers from here on out. And I am excited for what that means. And eventually my golf game will get to match yours. But until that time, we'll have many good memories to go. So cheers to y'all, and to the wonderful couple y'all be, the powerhouse that you guys have built as a family. And excited to get the journey with you throughout. So cheers to y'all.
I've known Taylor since I was 5, and I will spare most of the embarrassing stories, but I have to tell one. So when Taylor and I were really little, what we would always do is we'd coordinate a little dance routine. So we would always get matching outfits, and in our elementary school days, we'd coordinate a dance routine, and we'd go in front of the entire school, and we just do a dance routine to very wholesome Christian music. And what
Very true.
I would have to say about that is that Taylor was always fearless. Like, we would always be willing to do stuff together, and as long as we had the two of us, we knew that we could get through it. So she taught me a lot in the times that she was in Albuquerque, and she just has a beautiful soul and a beautiful spirit, and I think she gets a lot of that from her family too. The Cardenas family in general I've known for a very long time, and they're definitely second family to me. So Connor, I know I don't know you very well, but from what I know of Taylor, I know she's a very good judge of character, and I think that's exemplified by pretty much everyone here tonight who she's developed friendships with. So I know that she picked a very good partner in you, and I wish you two nothing more than the happiest years together, and I cannot wait to see where life takes you to, and I'm very proud of both of you, and I will stick to the 3-minute time limit, but I just want to say that I love you very much, and I'm very happy to be here and share this special day with you, so.
I got a Fitbit for Christmas, so I'm gonna watch 120. All right, here we go. This may come as a shock to some of you guys, but growing up, I was way cooler than Connor. I mean, I was faster, I was stronger, I was taller. Disregard the fact that I had a year and a half on it, didn't matter. In everything. In 18 years, this kid didn't take a single stock off of me in Super Smash Brothers. I mean, pathetic. And like one time, we were like, I don't know, we were like really young, like 6 and 7. We tried to run away, and we made it like 50 yards, and Connor started crying and turned around and went home. What a coward. Anyway, and I'm not really sure when all that changed, but I suspect it was sometime around when he joined Fiji. While I was home, like playing Dungeons and Dragons, Connor was smoking blacks. He was golfing. He was getting tan. He was crushing it, and so now I'm super pale and he's super tan, and he's dating or marrying. Sorry, he's marrying a total smoke show, respectfully, and so and I'm just like in charge of the speech of this. What can Zach do? Well, I guess he can put the list together on Excel. Don't let him touch the PowerPoint. Anyway, and I could barely handle that. So anyway, I was sitting at my chair and I was like making my speech, and I figured I would go back to the basics. I figured I'd start with the basics. So I decided to look up the definition of wedding in the dictionary. And Webster's defines wedding as the fusing of two hot metals together. And I thought that was just a really beautiful image of what's going on here today. That was a joke. That's a good joke. Because that joke is a litmus test for how the rest of this speech is going to go. And so far, it's not looking that good. After that, I forgot what I was going to do after that. So, I think I had another joke in there, but I forgot about it. Oh, no, I'm not going to tell that one. Anyway, I'm just going to go into the emotional part of this now. And so, I've been thinking about this for a really long time. and it's a work in progress, and so I'm just going to kind of stumble through this and see how I do. But I've been thinking about this for a really long time, and I'm not a theologian, so if anybody wants to like argue with me afterwards, feel free. But anyway, just bear with me for a second. So one of the great themes in the Christian Bible is the idea of bringing heaven to earth, bringing the kingdom of God to earth. And we see examples of that throughout the Bible, and we see that in the work of Christ, and we see that all through it. And you could argue, you could make an argument that one of the ways, or really the primary way, and the only way we do that, is by following the commandments of God and walking in the footsteps of Jesus. And so when Jesus says, "Thy will be done, thy kingdom come, on earth as it is in heaven," and we consider the fact that God has commanded us to bring order to the earth, I think that you can make an argument that when we follow His commandments, you're quite literally bringing heaven to earth. And one of the most beautiful and oldest commandments and traditions is that of marriage between two people. And so by getting married in the way that you guys are doing, by following God and His commandments, you could argue, not metaphorically, not metaphysically, that you are literally bringing the kingdom of heaven to earth. And so, on behalf of everyone here, I just want to thank you guys for giving us a little glimpse, quite literally maybe, of what heaven looks like. So, thank you. And I would like to toast to heaven on earth. So, anyway. Crushed it.
I am Taylor's dad, Dave Cardenas. I gotta tell you, the stories are amazing. There's a kind of a reoccurring theme that everybody hates you. One of your friends shot you. But at the end of the day, they end up worshiping you. And I think I joined that team. On the day I met Connor, it was amazing how much the guy can eat. It was more amazing to me, just the fact that he had a passion for food, and he caught the eye of my daughter. As all your dads know, that's not an easy thing to go through and see. It's inevitable. And you just pray and hope it's a godly man with a godly heart. So in an effort to make sure he was like that, I got with a friend of mine, who I just heard laugh, and I said, how do I approach this? He said, do what I do, what I told a lot of men to do. See if he has the prayer language of a pastor, or a guy that really, really understands and knows Christ, has a relationship with him. So it was like the third time having dinner with him. I got a little heat from my family, and I said, "Connor, why don't you pray for us?" Remember that?
I literally just said that to her.
Yeah. And it was, he dove in like he was talking to his best friend. That's soul right there. It's a telltale to me that you're going to lead my daughter well and provide for her. I'm under the 3 minutes because I got more things to say tomorrow night. And I don't read your list because that's actually really funny list. But here's to the bride and groom.
Thanks, Jack.
Many years of happiness.
Well, listen, we're going to have to wrap it up. We're about to just shut this place down. So we're so glad y'all are here tonight. And I think we've all been moved and touched by these stories. And we feel like we know both of these guys better. And I'm impressed. So we're glad y'all could join us. We're looking forward to a great day tomorrow. Thank you again, Mary Grace and David, for hosting us tomorrow. It's going to be a great wedding. And we will see you tomorrow.